corner of the app, scroll down to live radio. You get to work and you want to keep listening. It's okay, you get out the car, put us on the app. You can download the podcast. You can see us on ESPN too. Our very own Alan Yates is very upset because he missed, as usual, missed a parlay by like one stupid thing.
It's called the leg.
Yeah, and no, I'm saying right, by one leg of the parlay. It's always close. It's like if this guy would have had one more three. So I guess the over/under on AD was what, 25, Yates?
Well, it was. I wanted to say closed at like 24 or something.
Oh, 24. He ended up on 23.
He ended up with 23.
And clearly he knew you bet on it and decided
to go in the game.
There's too much time left. It was no way for him not to score, so he got out of the game.
I feel like you know the Buffalo Wild Wings commercials where they're like, oh, we need the game to extend?
Yeah.
I'm tweeting Buffalo Wild Wings. Something has to happen, yo.
So my prediction is what I would suggest in Game 6, I think you take the over on AD. I think AD is about to go off.
That's the thing. His over at 25 was plus money. Yeah. It's an extra bucket if your line's at 23.5, 24.5.
He's starting to
Aren't you worried? Because that's an even number of games. Remember, he drops buckets in odd numbers.
Yeah, he erased that,
I
though.
bet opposite of the narrative, and we were tracking until.
Remember, he erased it the last game at home.
Yeah. Because he finally had back-to-back decent games?
He reset
it. That erases the narrative?
He reset it. Now it flips to even games.
Now it flips to even games. Yeah, that's what you're telling
you don't think he reset it?
No.
And he didn't have a horrible game last night.
I didn't say he did.
No, I know. I'm just saying he didn't have a horrible game, so they just happened to lose, and they was playing the Warriors at home, and he didn't finish the game.
But I could see him dominating in Game 6.
I just think Game 6 needs to be bully ball all day long, in the trenches, like in the blocks, like LeBron James, AD, punishing them with points in the paint like they typically have done in their major wins, and defensively last night they didn't play with a sense of urgency. There was one possession where LeBron had one closeout. I think it was on Wiggins, and he was like, nah. And it was like they got a rebound, and it was Poole. He was like, nah. You could just tell, like, there wasn't that same.
And Wiggins played well.
But this is what the Lakers have done before, Key. Like, we've seen this before. We saw that in Game 5 against Memphis. Then they come back in Game 6 at home, close it out.
Do you think
you think about it's on the road. The role players didn't play great. It was a lot of turnovers in the game. I mean, it just guys off the bench didn't play well at all. They really didn't. Schroeder had some points, but for the most part, they were turnover machines.
Do you think that Steve Kerr, and this is common with, great head coaches, especially if you know you're heading home and your back is against the wall, you're going to start making comments about the refs if you feel like you can get some advantage that way. He mentioned the refs after Game 4, and the Lakers finished with only 15 free throw attempts in Game 5. That's their second fewest in any game all season. What do you think, Jay? Do you think there was any correlation there between Steve Kerr calling out the refs?
No, I think there was a lack of aggression by the Lakers. That's what I was saying before. There's a tendency for them at times to shoot a lot of jumpers instead of and look, it's also fatiguing. It's exhausting to try to punish somebody in the paint off drives all the time. Like, that takes a lot out of your – so we talk about LeBron James conserving energy for some bigger games, right? Because you understand what you need to do down the stretch. For AD, settling, becoming more content for those, like, mid-range jump shots to find his flow. That's why I think in Game 6 they go back to what they do, which is throwing the ball down low, LeBron James backing people down, not just becoming content settling for deep threes.
Like, he started off hitting those deep threes early, so I think he got
just settled. Yeah, right into it.
He started feeling like I'm on. I can do this.
But also, Key, you start making that, and then if you start thinking attack, man, that takes a lot of wind out of your sail when you start putting the ball, and especially when the pace of the game we talk about, right? The cumulative effect, the pace of the game. Because after makes and misses, Draymond was getting the ball and pushing it right down by the court. So think about a drive and a rip through, getting to the rim. All of a sudden, you're turning around, you're trying to sprint. And that's where, look, for as good as the Lakers are in their half-court defense, they're one of the worst teams in transition defense, mostly due to the fact that AD jogs down the court. So for every time that LeBron would rip through and get the ball to the paint, he's then having to sprint to get back down because they're pushing the ball right down the throat again. So it creates those type of possessions.
So, Key, look, simply put, once the
Zeke, that's a
Lakers
settle, Key.
once the Lakers went up 3-1, I would say it was fairly predictable that Golden State would defend home court, proud champions, right? Win or go home, and they send it back to L.A. I think most people would have said after Game 4, this feels like a 6-game series. Lakers close it out at home. How are you feeling about it right now as a Lakers fan?
Same thing you just said. The other day when we talked about it after the Lakers beat them on Saturday, was it Saturday they beat? No, yeah, Saturday. Monday, we said, okay, this is looking like it's going back to Golden State, and Golden State's going to come with the crowd and everything, and we're going to have to bring it back for Game 6 on Friday night. That's just, you know what it's going to be. Now, here's what I would say. If they lose tomorrow night, they might as well start getting ready for the summer. If they lose on Saturday night, there's not a chance in hell that I think that the Warriors are going to lose Game 7 at home. I'm sorry. I just don't believe it.
I've seen that before, though, is the only thing.
So, Key,
but you've seen it before, Max. Don't go
against
2016 and all that. Don't do that. Don't go on back. Don't do that, Max. We're not going to have that conversation.
We're going back 7 years?
Nevertheless, we're not
going to have that conversation.
I saw this nucleus, this core, lose a Game 7 at home to a LeBron James-led team.
LeBron James is 50 now.
Well, that's true.
Come on, man.
But if he's 50, Steph's 45. He's not that much older.
Look, I don't think you're going to see the Lakers switch as much. You saw AD. They switched a ton throughout the course of the game where typically they've been switching more towards the fourth quarter, into the fourth quarter on those matchups with Steph. AD was on Steph a lot more individually. When you do that, you drag AD away from the basket, which allows guys like Draymond Green and Wiggins and these guys to have, like, when Wiggins had 25, Draymond had 20. GP the second had 13 because they were able to get shots at the rim, right? So I don't think you'll see a lot of that in Game 6.
Until the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter.
Right.
But I'm going to say this. Game 6 is built for Steph Curry. Mm-hmm. He has been the best player offensively on the floor. Mm-hmm. And I'm still wondering, is Game 6 Clay a thing?
If they can force a Game 7.
We keep talking about AD being volatile. Clay last night, once again, 3 of 12 from the field, multiple games in a row, man, where you're wondering where the hell Clay is.
His shots just wasn't. They were not falling. It wasn't like he was missing the rim badly. They just wouldn't.
And weren't falling.
They just wouldn't go in.
Game 6 in L.A., where your dad played. You've been calling for this moment. Well, he's been asking for this moment.
LA,
real talk though. He's been asking for this type of moment in L.A.
Meantime, Game 6 obviously critical in this series. But which team in their series? Who's up in their series?
Why are you reading like
needs to win Game 6 more?
Why'd you go into the hosting voice?
Because it's a very specifically phrased question, Jay.
Okay.
Which team up in their series needs to win Game 6 more?
It's not how he talks normally.
After Jay.